circle have been complete. The upgrade is done. So for our area, the primary radars are Inola and Fort Smith, and those radars have been completed. And I'm pretty sure that I know Shreveport is finished, and out in Dias, I'm pretty sure that that's also finished. So this probably can be updated to include all the radars from Southern Plains have been updated, and the nationwide is really close to being complete too. Talk a little bit about what that means to you, primarily because since radar data is so readily available to anybody now. I mean, 10 years ago, it was unheard of for some member of the public just to go and look at real-time radar data. 5 years ago, yeah, maybe you could see it, but it may be delayed, and you definitely wouldn't see all of the products available. Now, you can only see it on your computer at home. You can carry it around in your phone, and there's apps for your smartphones now that are just have huge amounts of radar data that's available in that. So we do spend a little bit of time talking about that. It's not so much that I expect you to walk out of here and be able to interpret everything that you see on all those choices that you see on your smartphone app, but it's good to be exposed to it a little bit so that if you ever see that referenced in any way, you'll have an idea of kind of what's being talked about. So before the upgrade, full-year departures from normal in precipitation. So we're looking in the bright red, and so we're 12 to 16 inches below normal for the entire year. Parts of far northwest Arkansas were at 20 plus, down in far southeast Oklahoma too, and then spots up around Tulsa were also in that 20 plus inches below normal, and huge impacts when it comes to the groundwater tables and available water supplies. This has been somewhat updated. It's not the most recent one. This has improved somewhat by the recent rains, but either way, the drought continues. It's not quite as intense currently analyzed right now, but we're going to have to keep up some pretty steady and frequent rainfalls to keep that drought from really showing its signature pretty quickly. So this was, if you're not familiar with the drought outlook, you can go to drought.edu. That's the website, and it's actually somewhat smart, surprisingly, from the government end. It's a compilation of government data, a compilation of information from academic folk, and I think a lot of this is compiled at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. That's where it originated. And so they have a lot of people. They dial in first of the week. They have kind of a conference call, and they have input, on what do you think? Have you heard of impacts from your region? What's the water supply like in your region? And they come back with this drought outlook. So we're most of the way through this outlook here, which was for the months of January, February, and March. You can see that at the time it was forecast to be warmer, and a better chance of being warmer than normal, and about equal chance of above or below precipitation normal. Well, that's worked out for the most part. We've had a pretty mild late winter as far as normals go. And precipitation, we're running right or slightly above normal for the area. So that's about right. The longer term outlooks continue. The warmer above normal, and if you want to stretch it out into the summer months, I think it's still the equal chance as far as there's no strong signal from the climate end of the world, the climate forecasters, of whether it's going to be a really hot and dry summer like we've had the last 2 years or not. So here's kind of a still image that was taken roughly by the time that radar data was taken. And if you were to just put that image in front of, and say, what exactly is that? Without any video behind it, what does that look like? That looks like a tornado. That's like a big tornado. But if you were to actually look at that and think about it, the scale of that tornado would be tens of miles wide, for the distance that this person was. Also, if you had video, you wouldn't see any clear rotation with that in that zone. What was happening at this time was a very intense downburst of wind. There's a huge amount of, so that's a big precipitation hail. It's really just a bunch of rain and a big hail that's just come down and splatted on the ground. And this is what happened. That big wind rolled, completely destroyed, but it rolled a mobile home. These were the fatalities that happened in in our forecast area in Oklahoma last year were with this storm. And it was non-tornadic winds, it was straight line winds, but that obviously didn't decrease the intensity of it in any way. This home here, the siding was just demolished by wind-driven hail. So the story, as best as I understand it, was this mobile home, an elderly couple were keeping some kids, kind of a daycare or after school, and a couple of the parents for the kids knew that there were supposed to be storms today, saw this big storm, so they went and got their kids and left. There was one child that was left with the elderly couple, and those are the 3 fatalities that resulted when the mobile home was destroyed. A lot of people, you talk to after this event, and you get a lot of this stuff, where there wasn't a lot of response for this storm. There was a warning out a long time ahead of this. There wasn't any tornado warning issued, so you didn't get this big rush to take cover. That's just another typical warning, because everybody's in severe thunderstorm warnings and nothing happens, right? It's like, how many severe thunderstorm warnings? People say, I've been in so many of them, and you just get nothing. This actual severe thunderstorm warning had wind potential up to 80 miles an hour and I think baseball-sized hail in the warning. That was in there, but just because people didn't, just a severe thunderstorm warning, they didn't take that necessarily proactive step. And this is what I was talking about with trying to enhance that communication. This is some of the issues that the Weather Service is trying hard to address. And again, a lot of that comes from the Joplin tornado. If you guys remember some of the video we showed from that, I guess it was last year, where the Joplin day, the huge tornadoes actually coming into town, and people see video of people showing hardly any, impetus to hurry up, do something. It's filling up with gas, stopping at red lights, there's no rush. And so the Weather Service is trying to address that in a way to